Hey everybody, it's your girl El Rochelle. I'm back with my NFL Week 13 picks. As you can see, if you saw my my brief video last week, I'm getting my voice back. It's not totally back, but it's definitely much better than it was last week. I don't sound so strained, and I can actually do a 10-minute video and not need water every 5 seconds. So, wanted to come back, bring you my NFL Week 13 picks, get them today, Thursday, December 2nd, because we're going to be having a game tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, Thursday night, that is tonight, we have the Houston Texans versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Last week, if you happened to catch the Houston Texans versus Tennessee Titans game, you saw Andre Johnson, a normally mild-mannered wide receiver, go off on Cortland Finnegan last week. Like I said, this isn't Andre Johnson's normal behavior, but everyone that knows football knows Cortland Finnegan. It's kind of an instigator, kind of pushes people to the limit, and he got teed off on. And Andre Johnson just kind of laid him out for a little bit. But, it was a really good game overall as far as the Texans. They still won. Even though Andre Johnson was ejected, so was Cortland Finnegan. They only got fines, no suspension, so Andre Johnson will be playing tonight. Now, even with Andre Johnson, the team being Texans are a pretty good team, I still think Philadelphia Eagles will be able to get this one. So I'm going with the Eagles tonight at home, and they'll be able to go ahead and finally take the NFC East. Then with our Sunday games, we have New Orleans and Cincinnati. New Orleans is definitely coming on strong again after having a shaky start to their season. They're in a battle down there in the NFC South with Atlanta and Tampa Bay. However, I do think New Orleans will definitely get this game versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not doing so well. Even though I'd love to see them win, I just don't think they'll be able to win against the New Orleans Saints. So we've got the Saints. Next up, Chicago and Detroit. Now, Detroit doesn't have Matthew Stafford. Sean Hill got hurt last week. He says he's going to play, but we'll have to see about that. Chicago did a great job versus the Eagles last week, kind of shut Michael Vick down a bit. Even though he still did have yards, it wasn't as much, touchdowns. They tried to make a little bit of a comeback, but the defense did hold strong, and Chicago's offense did pretty well. I think their offense will definitely be able to hold up against Detroit, and the fact that Detroit's offense is kind of shaky right now because of their up-in-the-air quarterback situation, I'm going to have to say Chicago gets this one. And then we've got San Francisco versus Green Bay. Now, San Francisco is doing better, coming on a little stronger. They're only one game out in the NFC West, which is really weird right now because nobody's above 500 in that one. I'm going to have to go with Green Bay on this, though. Green Bay Packers are definitely doing much better. This is a team that's, coming back. I definitely see them as one of the top teams in the NFC, even though there are quite a few. So I'm going to have to go with the Packers, even though San Francisco has gotten a little better. They're doing well with Troy Smith. Then we have Denver and Kansas City, AFC West. Kansas City's doing pretty well. Denver, not so much at all. So I'm going to have to go with Kansas City. And in their second matchup of the week, and one of them going down tonight, Cleveland versus Miami. Yeah. If you watch basketball, you know what I'm talking about right now. So this one's going to be in Miami, though. Kind of similar in a couple ways. Miami is supposed to be a better team than Cleveland. They're not really living up to their hype right now. Cleveland's kind of playing above themselves. I'm not really sure because Miami actually did a good job versus the Raiders. But they're not a great team. I've watched them and they're not that exciting. Cleveland's doing kind of well for what's to be expected. I'll go with Miami. Not in both games, if you know what I'm talking about. I'll go with Miami here only because I think right now they do have a little bit of the edge as far as the quarterback situation goes. But honestly, this one is up in the air. Could be either team. So I'm going to go with Miami, though. All right. Then we have Buffalo and Minnesota. Buffalo played really well against the Steelers. And they had 2 wins before that. And it just really sucks that everything happened with Steve Johnson. If you know that whole story, he missed the ball, kind of had a come to God, why me kind of situation. But it's like he's a really good young receiver. So I'm definitely thinking that Buffalo has a lot to look forward to next year. I'd love to see them get another win. And I'm not too confident that Minnesota is the best right now. They did good last week. So, I'm going to go with Minnesota, even though it doesn't say that on my paper right now. I'm thinking 3 things. I'm going to go with Minnesota. Buffalo might get this one. They've kind of done really well the last few weeks. But I'm going to go with Minnesota. They just have a more established quarterback, more established receiving core. Even if Adrian Peterson doesn't play this week and Toby Gerhart does play, I still see their run game being, still pretty good. So I'm going to go with them. Though I do think this game will be close as far as points because Minnesota's defense isn't playing very well. So Buffalo will get points up there. But I just think they might outdo them. Minnesota just might get them. So that's that. Then we have Washington Redskins versus the Giants. Giants are the team I'm picking. Giants did really well last week, kind of came back against Jacksonville, so I'm going with the Giants. Jacksonville and Tennessee. Jacksonville had been doing pretty well. Tennessee is kind of, all over the place with the Vince Young thing. I think Kerry Collins is coming back this week instead of that rusty kid. But I'm going to have to go with Jacksonville. I like what I'm seeing from them. Oakland and San Diego. This ain't going to be a repeat of the earlier game this season. San Diego gets this one. This team is hot as usual in the months of November and December, and they're proving that right now. Phillip Rivers is definitely my pick for MVP this year. He's going. I want to see him break Dan Marino's record, so I'm going to go with San Diego. St. Louis versus Arizona. Another one of these NFC West matchups. St. Louis. Arizona looked like crap last week. Derek Anderson went off. And I honestly understand why he went off. I would have gone off the same way. First of all, it's no one's business what I was talking to anyone about. I can laugh whenever I feel like it. And I'm sorry that we're losing, but I have to have some sort of, I can't be sitting there crying either. So I'd much rather be kind of chuckling a little bit at maybe an inside joke that you don't need to know anything about than you accusing me of anything else. And don't keep prodding me. If I answer your question and I tell you I don't want to tell you what it is, ask me that one more time and I'm flipping out. And that's what Derek Anderson did. He shouldn't have apologized because that's what I would have done too. So there you have it. I'm crazy. No. Then you've got Dallas and Indy. Oh, and I picked St. Louis for that last one. No Arizona. I don't know if I remember. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, we're going with St. Louis. Dallas and Indy. Indy looked like poo last week. Dallas looked good except for that, or that Thanksgiving game, except for Roy fumbling. Loser. Why did he do that? So yeah. I don't know. I just really don't see Indy being able to stop them because they didn't do so well last week versus San Diego. I mean, but San Diego's always had their number. But Peyton just doesn't have who he has. Who's had. His team's kind of just been hurt. I know some people are coming back, but I'm going to have to go with Dallas on this one. Let's go, Cowboys. All right, Carolina, Seattle. Seattle at home. Just have to pick them. Carolina's not the best of teams, so we're going with that. Atlanta, Tampa Bay. Atlanta, this is a NFC South matchup. They're all battling to be first. Atlanta's doing really well, has the top record in the league, tied up with the Jets and New England. But I'm going to have to go with them. I think even away from home, they're really good. So I'm going with Atlanta. Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Ooh, defenses. What are we going to do? Baltimore, they're at home. And I don't know, Pittsburgh's just not proving much to me. And, they like to beat people up. So, whatever. Monday, Jets versus New England Patriots. Everyone's singing the praises of Tom Brady. I don't personally think he's doing that well this year. But, hey, that's what everyone else thinks. But I'm going with the Jets. Sorry. Whatever, Tom. But yeah, those are my picks this week, guys. If you've got any questions, hit me up.